Hello, 1 for 1, how you doing? Alright, we're gonna have a look at these games. I'm gonna pause it as soon as we get in, and I'm gonna pause the music because we don't need music for this. Alright. So I don't quite remember how this game went. Actually, no, I do remember how this game went. I actually do remember. But let me just quickly throw this up for the title. So, Alright, let me just start to introduce this a little better there. We'll go through it. See if I can remember all my shit that I need to remember. Sorry, all my stuff. I should really not be swearing that much when I'm doing this. So we're going to start with Team 1. Now, we're looking at some big numbers here, and that's mainly the fault of 1 for 1, because 1 for 1, for some reason, in 4v4s is rated as an 1100 player. He's not. Oh, but we'll get to that. So, first things first, we're looking here. We've got Gar here, who is currently playing UEF, and he's gone first land. So he's our main guy on the left-hand side. He is a 1300, so I don't really know how fair this game was to have a 1300 in it. But yeah, he's 1337. Pretty fucking high. Pretty high when it comes to 4v4s. So we've got him on the left flank. Right down in the middle, we have Venkman, who's also UEF, and he is currently in the middle. He's decided to build a factory directly on top of where he spawned, which I suppose is okay because he is trying to go for the adjacency, but I would have just stuck it there, to be honest, but it's fine. And then at the back, we've got, I don't even know how to say this properly, Sinaru Funa? Yeah, Sinaru Funa? I'm going to go with that. He's currently playing Seraphim, and he's running with a Seraphim comm at the moment. And then at the very top right-hand side, we have Sindal. And by the way, these are not hard names to say. This is just me being unable to speak English. It does happen. And that is currently he's currently building a land factory at the moment. As you can see, he's also got mexes lined up. So this is Team 1. So we're looking at 1300, almost 1100 with at the back. 1050 on the far right, and then the very weakest of them all is Venkman, who's apparently only 400, which does explain why he's building his land factory on top of his comm. Right, and then we'll look at the team that I was a part of. So bottom left, we've the Gaming Pie. He is currently running. Sorry, the comm confuses me, so give me 1 sec. He's currently running Aeon. The comm confuses me. I don't know why the comm confuses me, but he's currently running Aeon, and he's going first land factory. He does appear that he's getting the adjacency bonus for that, so that's pretty decent. We've got at the back, this is J1 for 1. He is UEF, who is also going for a first land factory as well, in spite of him being in the air position. I'm picking 3 games. And then you've got me here, who is... I'm currently playing... this is the... Fucking hell, I know what this is. I know what it is. Sorry, I've also got a very bad brain at the moment. I've got a migraine that I'm dealing with, but that's not an excuse. This is the Aeon comm that I'm going to be playing on, and I'm also doing first land as well with going for the 2 mexes. Now, see, I've done the adjacency bonus that the Venkman should have done, which is good, because at least I'm doing that bit, right? And then we've also got Totus over here. Totus 4OK. Totus 4OK, or whatever that actually says. He's gone first land, couple of mexes, and a PGen as well. So on our side, things are not looking as stacked up. So there is an 1100 in J1 for 1. There is an 1100 in Tolstey. That's as best I can do. There is an 800 in Gaming Pie, and just shy of 800 in me. So that is the kind of team that we're going with. So this, I do feel it is a bit stacked against us for this, because of the way that looks. But we'll see how it pans out. We'll try and keep an eye on the action as best we can and go for it from there. And I'll do my best to pick up on things that maybe that were done really well, that definitely could have been done better. And that's from both sides. I'll try and do that as much as I can. And I'll just clarify everything as best I can going forward for this. So let's get started. I forgot I can't do that for you. Right, so Indigo. Gaming Pie's immediately. So, as we can see, Gaming Pie does have an issue with APM, as me and 141 did find out yesterday. No, that was a lovely, weird love heart shape being drawn there. That's interesting. So basically, what I mean by that is that he doesn't really, he does queue things up, but it's not like an immediate thing. I also have an APM problem, because I definitely do not APM anywhere near the level that I should be APMing at all. Not in the slightest. As we can see here just now, 141 is going for the mixes he's going for the hydro build, so he's not building any PGens at all. And we've got here just now as Gaming Pie is doing the same, so Gaming Pie is also going for the hydro build, and I am also going for the hydro build as well. Toasty on the other hand has went for Toasty on the other hand has gone mad. He's going for 2 air factories, a lot of PGens. Is he going for 3 air factories? He is going for the hydro build. He's going for 3 air factories. I wonder why he's doing 3. He's doing 4 air factories. Okay. I don't know why Toasty is doing 4 air factories on the right flank, because he's like 1, maybe 2 at the most. Yeah, but not like that. That's a lot. And I don't know why you're doing that and not going for like 4 factories. He's also going left drone, right drone on his comm. Okay. Okay, I'm not really sure on that. But anyway, let's go look at the rest. So, over here, we've got, coming in from Gar, we have 2 land factories, which is what you should do in this circumstance, with what I'm understanding of things. If we go for the mid, we've got another hydro build. So I will say, regardless of Vinnickman's doing this wrong, he did actually do exactly what he should have done with the hydro build. Not entirely sure on the placement of the PGens for that though, but that's fine. I mean, if we bombed it, it would be completely different. If we look at the top right here, we've got Sindal. Sindal is going for for 2 land factories, and he's also going for 1 air factory and a lot of PGens, which is fine. He's already started reclaiming pretty decently as well. As we can see here just now, we've already got a land factory and air factory out of Sinaru. He's got a lot of T1 engineers out already. He's building his PGens in a cluster, which I wouldn't do. I would not recommend this. This is not a good idea, because 1 bomber hitting any of that and all of that explodes. That is not a good plan. So, back to the middle here just now. We've got me. I'm walking forward with my comm. I'm building an aggressive land factory at the front. This is to allow like engineers to reclaim this a bit faster. I'm also pushing for the reclaim. So as you can see, there is a lot of reclaim in the center and the sides here. Again, I don't really know what's happening with Toast here, what he's doing. He's building 4 air factories and 3 land factories, and he's burning through any sort of reclaim that he's got because of what he's doing. Like, I'm not quite sure I understand the tactic there at all. But anyway. So let's get back to it. So I've pushed forward, I'm expanding out the way, I've got a couple of scouts out in the middle flanks here. These obviously are to try and hold these points, or give me a warning as to what's actually coming. We've got Gaming Pie, who has walked his comm very, 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 very far up to get this reclaim, which is definitely a good idea. But he could do with obviously getting the rest of the troops up for that as well. He has queued up to get all of these mexes, which is good. He's also looking for 2 land factories on the left flank. He's also queued these mixes up as well. I think that is actually Gaming Pie's problem. He does queue a lot of builds up, but because he does that early on, he forgets about them a lot. Like, he really does forget about anything after the fact. But anyway, if we look at the air situation for J141, he's already got T2 mixes. He is using 3. I would probably not use 3 engineers to do this unless you've got the ability to do it. You do. Okay, you do. Yep, alright. 141 does have the ability for it. That's fair enough. But normally, he's already went T2 air, so that's good. He's already getting a T2 engineer out. It's 5 minutes into the game. That's pretty quick. So yeah, that's pretty decent. He is just continually producing engineers out of that factory there, which is exactly what you do want to do. But yeah, normally if you're doing a mechs upgrades, you really only want to put 2 on each one, because the extra build power isn't really worth the additional cost that comes with it. It's just not really worth it in that regard. Now, here we go again. This man is... So he is going for all the P-gens first, and then these 3. But still, like, he is taking a lot of build power away from his ability to produce units on the land, and he's going up against Sindo here, who has already got 6 land factories on the go. So, I mean, he's got 6 land factories as well, but it just depends how late that was. He's already getting like T1 bombers and T1. He's trying to get a mix of everything. If we just have a look at the build queue for that, actually. So he was doing a little bit, one, 2 here, there. He's now got an empty factory, so he's built this. It's not currently doing anything. I don't see it doing anything for the moment. This is why this is a waste, really, because he's not gonna use it. So I don't know why he's done it. I don't really know why you would do this. You don't need two T1 air factories producing interceptors like this. You definitely do not need 4. There is not a benefit to that, because that could be 3 extra land factories producing land units, which you do need to hold the engage and to hold that flank. But anyway, so that's fine. We can see that Gaming Pi is already upgrading to T2 Mexes. He's doing this wrong, because he's upgrading to T2 Mexes, and he already upgraded this one to a T2 Mex, and then started doing the upgrades before he's even finished this, so he's not getting the full value of that. And because of the way his base is laid out, that one and that one should also be upgraded to T2 before he even does this. That's not worth it. He is losing a lot to do that. He's losing a lot in that regard, definitely. If we look at the Gaming Pi at the moment, so the Gaming Pi has a big problem when he comes to playing this game. He's got over 2k mass sitting in the bank because he's not spending it properly, and this is because he definitely does struggle to spend his mass where he should be doing so. Yeah. He's the front player, and he should have. There should be more than 2 factories down. There's 3 factories down. There should be like 4 or 5 there. I myself only have 2 here, and another one there, so I'm also not doing this right. Like, this should not be the case. There should be at least 4 or 5 factories. So our player on the right here, he's only gone for now 3 air factories, but look at this. He's got 3 air factories that he's just wasted fucking time building, and they're not getting anything. They're not doing anything. They're not doing anything. He's got a main land factory, not doing anything. Like, he's been pushed quite far back already. His comms in a very awkward position because none of his troops are nearby. So this is not looking the greatest for Tolsty here. I have managed to secure this area. I am now building 4 additional factories here. However, that really should have been done here, and it should have been done much quicker. Way quicker than I did it. And if we look over here on at the back, our back player on the right here, on the left side, team 1. So this is a T2 air factory, 8 minutes. He's just got his first T2 engineer out. So if we now, second T2 engineer out. But if we have a look back at where we are, 141 is already going to T3. So my team have the air advantage. My team 1000% have the air advantage right now. So he absolutely has the air advantage right now, which is definitely very good. This right here, he's just getting T2 power up, which is definitely, that is late. That is very late, and from an experienced player like Senua, that's really not where you want to be at all. Now, if we have a look here, this is what you should be doing. This is correct. The way that it's being played by Gar here is correct. He's got 2 factories there. He's got 4 factories, 5, 6 factories, 7, 8 factories producing units. And if we look at Gaming Pi, he's got T2 land factory, two T2 one T2 H. He's got 4 factories, 5 factories. He's got 7 factories now, but they were not there to begin with. So this guy has been producing. So this guy has been producing units non-stop. Like, look at the difference in the units there. He's got enough units to push me away. Like, that's my army having to back off because I'm getting assaulted by Venicman. So we have to back off from this because unfortunately I done this wrong. I hadn't upgraded my comm correctly. We're definitely having issues here. So that's not a good situation for myself. I lose a lot of ground here. I lose a lot of stuff. We do eventually sort that situation out, but that is definitely not the way it wants to be at all. We've got gun comm going on, gaming pie. We've got gun upgrades on a lot of people. But as you can see here just now, Gar is pushing in with gun comm and a severe amount of units. Now, why is that happening? Because gaming pie has no radars. He does not have a frontal radar situation. So, just going to pause that real quick. Gaming pie has no frontal radar. Gaming pie has 0 frontal radar right there, right? So the only time that Gaming pie sees this entire engage happen, all of this, the only time that's actually noticed by Gaming pie is when it's on top of him. But he's got no radar. He could literally put a radar literally here. Like, see right here? Perfect radar positioning. Also, this is entirely open and not being taken by Gaming pie. Like, this is free mass that's not being taken. There is no way of knowing what's actually sitting up there or what's there because he's not pushed it and held it. He's holding a mid-valley point in a very, very choke point kind of situation. It's not a good place to be in. It's not a good situation, and it doesn't look good for him at all. This is a bad holding on this flank. Now, here I am. What I'm doing is also not the right thing at all. I backed off my comm to upgrade my comm. I am doing the correct thing because what I did is I pushed my units up to slow his advance. It was not a case of wanting to throw my units away. I was doing it so that he would back off with his comm, or at least back away, giving me time to get my upgrade done on my comm, which it does work, but again, I should have like 4 or 5 factories back here already producing troops, already producing all sorts. I shouldn't have all of this be at the front. Like, yes, have frontal factories, that's perfectly fine, but they should not all be at the front. I should have more factories at the back, all the way the adjacency. I could have had a second factory literally right here, and I would have had a double adjacency for that as well, making it so much easier. And just the fact I've not done that is a problem. I've put a land factory surrounded by P1 mexes, that P1 gens. That's just going to do fuck all, really. So that's the issue on that point. Now, Tosti is holding on his flank quite well. He still went with the 4 air factories. I don't understand why we've done this. I don't get it. I don't see the point, because it might be some strategy I don't understand, but like 3 of them aren't building a fucking thing. So that is wasted mass, that's wasted energy, and you've wasted your build power on 3 things that you're not using because you do not need that many. Maybe 2. Maybe having 2 is having 2 is more than efficient. You're going to build interceptors. You're going to be building interceptors. You might build a couple of scouts. You might build a couple of T1 bombers to just have a bit of fun. But the main use of any sort of frontal air factories is either if you're going to do an early transport rush, or you're specifically just building T1 interceptors to defend your airspace, because your back player is going to be focused on going T3 air and might not be able to micro T3 and T1 at the same time. That's why you do that. So being a frontal game, like a front player, and then having this, that is alarming, because that is so much mass and so much energy that you've taken away from building units at the front that could have really been used to properly overwhelm or hold a situation much better in that regard. So if we now look at the other side, just to kind of get the mirror, I'm going to unpause to go. Yeah, I need to unpause to go back. So we'll just pause it again to go back to the mirror side, right? So let's have a look at this. So we've got T2 HQ. So here we are with T2 HQ and T1 land. We've got 4 factories here, 4 factories there, all producing units. He has an air factory, but it's 1 air factory producing interceptors, nothing else. We've got 1 air factory producing interceptors. His back player is not okay. It's 10 minutes. He's only just going to T3 air. It's not very good for the back player because he's not got there yet. So 141 has actually done a fantastic job. He has got to T3 air at 10 minutes exactly as need be. So he's currently winning against the back player of I always say his name wrong, Scenario, because so he's already doing better in that regard. But this means there should be an air advantage for my team, for Team 2. There should be an air advantage for Team 2 that we should be able to then exploit. If that's not happened, we've definitely fucked up somewhere. But we'll find that out as we go on with the game. As you can see, right, here we go. Four land factories here. This guy's already producing out T2 units. But he's doing it at he's doing it in a very weird way, because he's got 4 T2 mexes, but he's not picked up these 2 to T2 yet. He's building P-gens in a random place, which is interesting as well. He did have an air factory, but he got rid of it. So he's went and got rid of it to allow himself to just kind of push forward with everything as it is. There is the scenario column sitting at the front as well. There is the 2 columns, V2 columns here. J141 and myself are both holding that side. There's a big lot of mass engagement here on this side. Oh, I made the holes too small. Ah, yeah, no, okay, yeah, that's there. Yeah, it definitely looks like it looks like it didn't go ahead, but I don't think he was making an air factory anyway. I think he was just doing that from what he remembered. But yeah, so if we have a look, back player, all T2 mexes. 141, he's not got all T2 mexes. He's missing 2 of them, but he has got them being upgraded at the moment, so they are going upgraded. If you look at mid player. So there's 4 T2 mexes there. I have more than 4. But all of my ones at the back are not being upgraded. I also did this, but to be honest, that was out of the road at the time, so it was fine. But yeah, so currently, if we look at how things are looking from a kind of point of view for this at the moment, so just going to see what the reclaim situation. So the reclaim situation is that Team 1, which is this team, have actually reclaimed more than we have, which is a very weird statement, given the fact that, to be honest, I took this plateau and I got most of the reclaim on this plateau. I got most of the reclaim here. So the fact that they actually have more reclaim than us implies that the other sections where the reclaim was, like over here and here, was won by the other teams. Because I definitely got most of the reclaim in the center of the map, because that's one of the things that was allowing me to stay alive for so long, because I'd actually got most of the reclaim. So yeah, so Gaming Pie's actually reclaimed 8.2 thousand reclaim. And yeah, if I click on Gaming Pie, I'm going to be sad. So let's... Yeah. Gaming Pie has most of the reclaim. He's reclaimed 9k. So Pie is reclaimed 9k, and yet he is sitting on 6,000 reclaim. He is sitting on 6,000 reclaim that he's not spending. He's not upgrading his mexes to D2. He's not got more build power down. He's not got more units getting made. Like, literally, his T2 land factory isn't building a troop. His T2 land factory isn't building anything. Like, this is not what you want. If you get a T2 HQ, you want it building troops constantly. Also, why he's focused more on getting troops out of here and a lot of build power on this, rather than getting more T2 land factories down. And Gaming Pie dies here. So Gaming Pie died there. And the reason he died is he had no radar. So Gaming Pie dies on this side with 7,000 reclaim in his bank. That is 7,000 reclaim that we don't get, and that he doesn't get to use. He didn't even transfer it to us either, so nobody got the reclaim. So that big gap right now. So if we just pause really quickly, just to monitor that. So currently, right now, Team 1, Team 2, that's 31 reclaim to 31 reclaim. In reality, that's 31 reclaim minus the about 8k that Pi reclaimed, because the issue is Pi reclaimed it, didn't use it. So Pi was sitting on that much reclaim, didn't use it. And so the issue that happens there is he has 7,000 reclaim, and because he dies with 7,000 reclaim and doesn't give it to the team when he dies, nobody else gets it, nobody else has got it, nobody else is using it. Nobody has it at all. So we end up just getting stuck and not having anything to play with. We're going to have a quick check of 1-for-1 for a second here, because I'm noticing he's sitting on... Yeah, okay, 1-for-1 is sitting on 6,000 reclaim himself. What the fuck are you doing? What the fuck are you doing? Why are you sitting on 6,000 reclaim, and why are you not upgrading to a T3 max? I'm yelling at Pi for sitting on 6,000 reclaim. You're sitting on 6,000 reclaim. And here I am sitting on 1,250. So I am also doing not good here, because I am not using the reclaim that I've got. But I am in a fight, and my APM does not go very well. So I've got aero units here. Aero units here. These should all be getting capped on. They should all be getting capped on, but I'm getting far too distracted by the fight at the front. I've also got 1-for-1 yelling on my eardrum right now about this very fight, because we look like we're going to kill him, but 1-for-1 is not really managing. Like, we're not managing to kill it, so that's not going well. We lost this side, and we lost this side got lost because Pi didn't have radar, and because Pi wasn't spending the mass that he had, and he really needed to be. But let me see. So. Yeah, I mean, in fairness, even Tolst isn't spending his reclaim. Whereas if we look at the other team, right? Okay, Venkman doesn't spend his reclaim, but he's spending his reclaim. He's spending his reclaim, and he's spending his reclaim, right? So, if we look at that or spending a mass, sorry, not reclaim. If we just look at that from a mass point of view, our team has mass in the bank they're not using, and that is just not okay. So my team are losing the game because we decided to hoard mass and not use it. And I'm still not doing anything in my base. Like, this is absolutely atrocious right here. What is happening here is goddamn bad. Like, I've got 3 T2 engineers that are not doing anything. I could be building more factories, I could be building more of anything, I could be doing more things. But what the issue that's happening here is I'm too focused on what's happening at the front, when in reality I should be looking at what's going on over here. Eventually I figure it out and I start building point defense with these units because there is a push happening over here. But what I should be doing is I should be using those 3 units, and I should be getting all of these capped, and then they should literally go around and get all of these capped. Like, every single one of these should be getting upgraded right now, but they're not. 1-for-1 is sitting on is sitting on 10,000 reclaim, and he's not using it. That is bad. That is very, very bad. Right here, that is, like, look at all of that. Nothing's happening. 10,000 reclaim, nothing's happening. And then if we look at Tost as well, so we look at Tost's side of things, he's sitting on 9k reclaim. He doesn't have T3 mexes. He's got T3 land HQ, but he's not. Oh, he's got 1 T3 mex. Okay, so my bad. He's got 2, but he could be upgrading the other 2 because he's got the mass to do it. Like, literally, all of them could be upgraded to T3 at this point. But we're not spending the mass that we're using, which is what we've got, which is really bad. And again, if we look at the other side of things, they are spending it more than we are. Already got T3 mexes, already got them capped. So the advantage that 1-for-1 had is gone. 1-for-1's entire advantage is gone because 1-for-1 got to T3 first, yet he's not spending his mass. Whereas if you look here, that's 4 T3 air factories. You've 1-for-1, you've only got 3. This man's already outclassed you, despite the fact you got to T3 first. So you got to T3 first, yet this guy has beat you. Why? He's spending his mass. That's why. Look at the build power he's got. Look at the fucking build power. Look at the amount of build power he has got going from point to point and building everything for him. Whereas if you look at your side of things, you don't have any build power. You have literally no build power. And that's why everything's taking a damage for you to get sorted. You've got no build power at all. And that's where that's where that's came from. So you had a massive air advantage that got lost because you did not have the build power to follow up on. Now Tolstoy's having to try and hold this entire section by himself, and it's not working out well at all. We managed to hold the front, but here's the issue. It doesn't fucking matter. Like, I'm now doing T2 upgrades on mass points. I'm doing mass storage upgrades now on this, when this should have been done fucking 5 minutes ago. This should have been done 5 minutes ago. My base is a fucking joke. Like, I have done nothing right here. There should be four factories in this area alone producing troops. I should be spending my mass. I should have been upgrading these to T2 and then getting them capped fucking pronto. If I can't micro it, I should be managing it. I should be looking at it. I should be focusing on it. What I'm saying is, if I can't micro that, then I should set it up as build orders and leave it the fuck alone and just let it get done. So the push, this is being like fought back and forth. There's a bit of an air battle going on. Currently, there's not that many T3 superiors. There's Izanes, and there's Wasp in the air. Wasps are actually the better T3s, I do believe. I think Wasps are the better ASFs in the game. Okay, Tulsa's now doing some belly nuking, or some just regular. That's just regular TMLs. That's just regular TML, or regular missile launches anyway. He's taking out, so he's taking out that little outpost there, which is good. That's a very nice little play on it. But yeah, so this is just flooding through. Mainly T2 units now, so Gara's just chilling. If you look at the reclaim situation now, so there's now 44k to Team 1. But again, we're down about 6k because I had it and didn't use it. We're also getting TML'd over here, and it takes me a while to notice that, I do believe. MML'd, we're getting MML'd. Yeah, but it takes me a little minute to notice 141 loses a truck because it was trying to repair my column, which was very nice of you on that. But yeah, so the push in for here, there's not really much that can stop it. There are some Harbingers, so there are definitely some T3 Harbingers out, which is pretty decent. But yeah, again, it's just a little too late. This is a fully upgraded comm. It's on 18k health, man. It's got a fucking shield. It's a fully upgraded comm. It can fight T3 units all day. It's going to be fine. So the left flank is struggling hard. The right flank is in a stall. Like, to be fair, Sindal doesn't need to do anything. Sindal can just fucking sit there and watch this happen. He does not need to move forward because the left flank's doing it anyway. Although if he did move forward, he would be causing Toist a big problem because Toist would then be having to micro 2 bases and 2 fights at the same time, and I don't think he can. But yeah, so we just look back at the air situation, like, this hasn't changed in like 5 minutes. You got T3 air at 10 minutes in the game, and this is the situation 9 minutes later. That is not good. That is not good. Whereas if you look over here, look at that. He was late to get into T3 air, and he's already got way more. Do we have it? So we've got T3 land factory out of our main man up at the top, Sindal. He's got his T3 land factory out. A lot of random fighting going on at the front here. I finally capped all my mexes and got these to T2, or getting these to T2. But it's very slow, it's very late. I should already be going pushing to T3 at this point with that. It's very, very slow on that front. But yeah, we're just like this is just a streamline of troops getting pushed in. Gar has a fully kitted comm, 5-star, fully vetted comm. Like, he's not going to have to worry about a damn thing. Like, he genuinely will not have to worry about anything. That right there shows that I have very little A in my army there. Very little. And then we see here a push from Tulst that's going straight towards the middle area. I don't know if he just felt that that was where it was a weak point to push towards. I don't know if that was the case. But what I'm going to do really quickly is just turn this down just a touch because it's a little bit loud. So if I can just turn it down, even just a wee bit. I'll keep that up high though, so that's in case you want to hear that. Just so I'm not immediately screaming and shouting. But yeah, so I'm pushing in now. I'm pushing in because I know I can, and plus there was this push coming in from Toys, so I'm like, you know what? Take it. Push in. I've got upgraded with a restoration field on my com. So this is just buffing all my units very nicely. So I get to push in here and do this. It's very nicely done. The issue is that we are majorly losing this left flank, so this push has to work. If this push fails in any way, like if we don't kill Van Ekman here, then it's a waste. What should really happen is Van Ekman and Scenario should really die here. They both should die here if we do this correctly. But I don't think we do. But we'll see what happens. I've managed to get to a T3 HQ, which is good. Again, just stuff over this side that I'm not bothered to touch. I'm not really defending anything here, so that's just an easy push into my base if they wanted to. But how's the fight going over here? Right. So we've got an engagement going straight through, so Tulst's army is pushing straight through. But they are getting some Ravagers up. These are the best point defense in the game. But you still, when you're getting a lot of like units popping through, you don't always just want to have Ravagers. You want to have like T1 and T2 as well, because you need the different rates of fire. Now I'm pushing through and I'm clearing the front. Which, to be honest, I should have been able to do this like ages ago. I'm playing against a guy much lower than me. He's already done a lot wrong that he shouldn't have done, and I just haven't reacted to it properly. I haven't built properly. I haven't gotten correct anything that I wanted to do. 141, unfortunately, has massively struggled in air. Like this is not a good sight. This should have been like fucking 3 times the size by this point, because you were already T3 air at 10 minutes. So I now take this entire army and I flood it through this section because I see there's a way through here. Also, there's T3 point defense there, so there's no point in me pushing through on that. This is very good from Toist. He gets right into the back. He's doing a lot of damage. He's taking out a lot of things at the back here, which is very, very nice to see. Really well done. Really, really good shit. Really, really good. But then again, look at this. Gar just doesn't care. Gar is pushing through with T3 units directly through this section. And there is nothing I can do about it. Because I have no defense. Even though I've known that this was coming for some time. I just have 0 defense to it. Which is really bad. And you can see now I'm having to pull units from my front. Pulling units from my front to then go and fight this off. Yeah, so 141 does come in with a couple of T2 gunships. Right, so there's okay, there you go. Look at that. So we're struggling to maintain anything. This guy's already got a quantum gate up, and he's already got an experimental in walking forward. So he's already got a chicken walking forward. Like, look at that. I got some T3 Harbs out. They do end up holding the line quite nicely. And I also got a couple of T2 and T1 PD up. So they do end up holding quite nicely. So I managed to hold this off, which is good. But it just shows how really dumb I was being on my defense on that one. I was not defending much of anything. Unfortunately, all of these Titans walk straight into the fucking chicken because we didn't know it was there. There is very little, actually, there is no scouting coming from 141. So 141 is in mass production of oh, he's got scout planes out coming out now. But see, that should be a constant thing. That shouldn't be a thing that just happens. There is so many scout planes sitting there, no scouting happening. We could have seen that chicken coming a mile away, or even seen it getting built. We did not know it was getting built, which is really bad. Really bad. Let me see what's happening here. So I'm struggling on mass. I'm spending my mass like nobody's business. 1 for 1 sitting on 18,000 mass. 1 for 1 is sitting on 18,000 mass. Okay, I'm gonna take my orders back. Pi didn't lose as the game. 1 for 1 sitting on 18,000 mass lost as the game. In this regard, because like, and I'm saying lost as the game because, like, I mean, look, there's no way, like, we can't stop this. We can't stop this push. It's not stopping, and there's now a chicken about to start walking through, and I've not got the ability to handle this game at all. Like, like, that chicken is now walking straight through, and I have nothing for it. I mean, I do know it's coming, so I've already walked my comm away. That Scar got his own experimental up, so yeah, like, honestly, we look at this, look at the spin, look at the difference. Look at that. Look at that. Look at the fucking difference compared to that. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. Yeah, you built one experimental. You should have built two. You should have just been mass producing experimentals at that point. There was no reason just to build one and be done with it. You should have been mass producing them. So Tosta just died on that side there. He got pushed by what looks to be a number of Harbingers, and he just got killed. And there's a chicken walking through on my side, so now 1 for 1 is having to micro absolutely everything. But yeah. So if we look at ASF production, 1 for 1 is winning. But 1 for 1 also has so much mass that he's just not using. And you're still 1 for 1 is still producing, building more air factories, which is not needed. At this point, it should just be experimental, like just a spam of experimentals. You have the mass for it, you have the ability for it, you have the build power for it. Absolutely should just be spamming out experimentals at the back. Then I've started to do my own experimental, but I don't have any mass. So I started trying to do my own, but I've got 11k mass in my situation. Don't know why the fuck that came from, because I didn't have it 2 minutes ago. But then I've got all the build power going on it. I'm trying to get as much build power on it as I possibly can. This chicken is walking in on it, and that's just not going to end well at all. These Harbingers are still causing mayhem at the back here, absolute wrecking things. Like, look at all of this! I don't know what Toist was doing, man! He was struggling so much. This chicken is now walking through, killing everything. We're looking to see if the GC can get up. Is the GC going to get up? The GC did not get up. I only noticed that's blue units. Yeah, so the GC didn't get up. 1 for 1 is trying to hold fort with the Fat Boy, but it is not working out at the moment, so there's just too much. And his Gar's Fat Boy is not even rolled in yet. Gar's Fat Boy is still sitting back there. I've now got this walking in on me. I've got a couple of T1 defenses up. I got a good few T1 defenses up. So T1 PD is actually really good against the chicken, but you need a lot of it. Like, T1 PD is really solid against the chicken, but you need a lot of it. You need a lot of T1 PD to deal with it. So as you can see, like, I've already taken it down to yellow health, and that's only from the ones that are there. I do have a couple of T2 PDs spread out as well. Got Harbinger up. He's also not shooting the point defense, so there's that. But I mean, to be honest, this actually just like, even this die-in is still bad, because I should have killed it like there, not in my base. In my base, it just wrecks everything. Not that there was much left to destroy anyway. But yeah, as you can see here just now, units from guard are just flooding in. 1 for 1 is having to run away. He's trying to build some T3 Ravengers to get something up. Sindal's now got an experimental up. What's he got? He's built a GC, so that's now in operation. Just look at the difference, man. The difference here is that Scenario... I can't say his name, and I'm really sorry for that. Scenario has literally spent his mass. Like, he's sitting in 15k, but he has been spending his mass. He's making 431 a go. If we now look at 1 for 1, dude, you've got 40k sitting in the bank and you ain't using it, mate. Like, you had that before you were in trouble, and you didn't use it. Like, I can only say that I had at least the excuse of not having the mass at the time. Like, at the time that I was doing this, I didn't have the mass. But then again, I didn't have the mass because it was my own fault for not producing the units the way I should have done. And you're obviously trying to hold that flank as well. This gets pushed in. Unfortunately, we just don't have a foothold anywhere, and it kind of crumbles in every angle. Gaming Pie dying with 7k in the bank definitely was not the starting point that we wanted for this game. Gaming Pie should really have never died with that much in the bank. He should never have died. No, you did not have a good game, because you had a very good game at the start. You got to T3 at 10 minutes, but you have so much mass that you are sitting on and that you are not using. You got to T3 and you had 0 build power. What you should have done there was just even getting like 10 T2 engineers out would have been better than having none. Having no build power. You had literally no build power at all. And yeah, see, with the minute you started building 1 experimental, you should have just been building constantly. Constant experimentals. If you had like 3 or 4 experimentals, that would have been fucking gone. Like 3 or 4 fat boys, and then that entire would have been gone. I mean, right now you've got plenty, and you had plenty when you built that first fat boy. You should have built so much more. You should have built so many more fat boys on that side. Like this right here, I got nothing. I had an absolute awful game on my side. But yeah, for the advantage that we did have, yeah, you definitely needed more at the very early stages of the game, because you had no build power, and it showed. You had no build power at the start of the game, and it really did show, because that's what hampered you the most. You just had no build power for it. And so, there we go. I'm now stuck in the middle with absolutely nothing. Absolutely nothing. I've got a couple of one T3 unit. I've got 1 T3 harb. That's my whack there. And I'm trying to rebuild, but like there's no way I can rebuild. There's just no way. You got the fat boy trying to hold off. But again, they've not attacked yet. They're just sitting there. But the fat boy's still trying to hold them off and cover it. You're now trying to build 2 separate T3. This is what you should have done when you built the first one. Like, that's what you should have done at the start when you built the first one. You had the mass, the income, everything for it. You had all of that to be able to do that and not have a problem. I'll try to get to a T3 land HQ again. GC's walking in. It's got a lot of supporting units. See, at this point, Vanekman hasn't done a thing. Like, Vanekman could have got run over fucking easily because he's literally got nothing. But because I didn't do anything well on my side of things, there was no way I could have even touched him. And that's how bad my game went. But yeah, like so much mass sitting in the bank at the back and you weren't using it, that is tragic. Like, that happening and Pi sitting on 7k and not utilising it, and also Pi not building enough land factories to produce enough troops, like, that was really bad. He needed way more, and I needed way more in the middle. I should have had another like 4 or 5 like land factories producing troops. I just didn't. So that's really bad on my part. Really, really bad. Here you go, you're going to try and stop the GC. That's a good number of broadswords, to be fair. I think I produced this and then I start spamming out T1RT. I think that's what happens with these. I just start spamming out T1RT. Sindal's got a second experimental up. Oh, yeah. Experimental aircraft carrier. The donut is inbound. And again, we don't have any scouting going out or nothing. We're very hyper focused on this and not focused on any of that. There is no idea of what's happening here. And none of us have that information at all. Oh, and unfortunately, 141 lost the air engage on this side. Even though you definitely looked like you had more ASFs. But yeah, you definitely seem to have lost the air engage. I'm just spamming out T1 artillery just to cause annoyance. Almost got a third experimental up, third fat boy up. There really should have been a lot more. Like, you had so much of an ability just to mass produce as much as you wanted, but you didn't. Now they're pushing in for this side as well. Donuts coming in overhead. Here comes the fucking Caesar. The Caesar's coming in overhead and I'm just dead. There is like no way I'm getting out of that. No way I'm escaping that at all. I don't even think I notice. I do notice because there's my panic spam of fuck, you get T1A up as quick as possible. I don't know why I stopped with my comm. I don't know why I decided my comm should do that. It's not a good idea. And here I die. See you later, sayonara, goodbye. I just absolutely threw that game in the bin. 141 threw that game in the bin. And Gaming Pie threw this game in the bin. We were all doing a terrible job. We did a terrible job on this game. I mean, Toast as well. Toasty just, I don't know what he was doing. I don't know what Toasty was doing for the majority of that game. I genuinely don't know. And there we go, game over. Right. So, what we can see here, what we can take from this game, the game that was lost by my team. And when I'm saying my team, I would like to be very, very clear. I am taking full accountability that I am part of the problem with this. Now, in saying that, I was playing with 2 higher ranked players. I was playing with 3 higher ranked players. So people that are much better at the game than me. Right? And those 3 higher ranked players, one of them, Gaming Pie, sat here on 7,000 mass and didn't use it. Another one, 141, sat on 16,000 mass, didn't use it, didn't check if his teammates required it, didn't do anything with it, so he was just sat on 16,000 mass. There was like, at the point that at the point that Gaming Pie died, there was 44,000 reclaim on one side and 44,000 reclaim on the other side. But there was 44,000 reclaim on one side and about 38,000 reclaim on our side that was actually used. Because Gaming Pie sat on 8,000 reclaim, or 8,000 mass, and was not using it, and then he died. Gaming Pie is not the same as me. Gaming Pie can play much better than I can. Gaming Pie is not the same as me. Gaming Pie is a better gamer than I am at this game. Especially in the early to mid game. Maybe not late game. Gaming Pie is not good at late game. I am actually quite alright. If I can get to the late game, I'm pretty alright. I struggle to get to late game. However, Gaming Pie is good at the very early game and the mid game. But Gaming Pie in this particular game did not have a good game in the early to mid game. He did not have a good game. And Tolstoy deciding to build this monstrosity here, like, I get you're much higher ranked than me, but I would like somebody who is higher ranked to tell me that this is a good strategy. Because if somebody wants to tell me this is a good strategy, I'll believe you. But I don't think it is. I don't think this worked out at all for him because he was only ever using 1 or 2 factories at a time. There was never a case where he was like mass producing from 4 factories continuously for 4 air units. There was never a case that happened. So that didn't make any sense to me. He still held his side for a long time, but that just never made any sense on why that happened there. I don't understand.